Hey everyone, this is Dawn and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming on to do a video really for an Instagram challenge. So this is, or actually I should call it a dare. So N Does Crafts. She used to be here on YouTube, but has really moved over towards Instagram. And so Ninju, and I know probably many of you know and love Ninju, she put up this craft dare. I dare you to make something with Mod Podge, glitter, and the color blue. And I believe it's every Friday. We're going to post our project over on Instagram, and I think it's Sunday then that she is going to post a new dare for 3 things to use in a project. So I thought I would go ahead and do a video. I recently got this amazing paper at Joann's, and before I pull that out, I'm going to show you that I've got the Mod Podge, I've got some glitter, and I've got some blue cardstock. And then not too long ago, I've already cut this page down, but Joann's has now what they're calling artisan papers. They're not inexpensive. They're like $2.29. It is a 12 by 12 sheet. I've already cut it down. It feels like a handmade paper. They're made in India. This one doesn't have the tag on it anymore, the sticker. But the colors and the feel of this is just really amazing. And when I thought about blue, I thought about this piece of paper. I have another one as well that I thought about using, but I think I'm going to save this one for another project. Aren't these colors amazing? The darkness, and I just love how these feel. And when I purchased them, they were half off, so I didn't pay the full price. But when I was thinking about the glitter aspect of it, I was thinking about these flowers and thought that would be the best place to add in the glitter. So I'm starting with this piece that I cut down. So I took an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and I cut it down longwise rather than in half to make a top folding card. So it is 4.25 by 5.5 inches. So when you're cutting, at your 8.5, you're going to cut it at 4.25, and then you fold it in half, and you've got your top folding card. This is cardstock. I think this is not quite navy, maybe. It's an older color from Stampin' Up. And I trimmed down this paper, and I've decided I was originally going to back this with some gold cards or gold glittery cardstock, but then I don't know, I did not love the glitter with it, and then the original piece I cut, really I was not loving the dimensions, and I was actually thinking about trimming this down a little bit just because my flowers are not really centered. So I figured let's go ahead and trim this down, and let's go ahead and Mod Podge, and then I'm going to trim down the base of my card. So yeah, it's not coming together perfectly, and sometimes our crafting doesn't, so we are going to adjust for it. So I can see where my flower is just, and I am trimming both of these together, so I'm going to be very careful how I'm trimming these, which is underneath is a white cardstock, and I can see my score line here, so I really want just the tip of that. Just want to make sure my paper is good and lined up. I'm going to get the tip of that flower, or leaf I should say. That's where I'm measuring by. And I'm pushing up, not coming down, so that I don't tear my paper. And sometimes if you're worried about tearing your paper, you can sink your blade like in the middle and then go up and down. Good little tip for your trimmer, because if you ever ripped a piece of paper and you're got a good project going on, it is not a happy thing. All right, so I've trimmed that down, and I think let's go ahead and do the Mod Podge. So sometimes Mod Podge for me, I live in a very tropical climate, and Mod Podge sometimes is a little sticky for me, and someone told me, have I used this Mod Podge before? Maybe not. Oh, maybe I have. Yes, I have. Anyway, somebody told me something to remove the stickiness, so if you know what that tip or trick is, let me know. And I do have a mug of some water, and my paintbrush was a little stiff, so I put it in some water just to get the stiffness out of my brush. So I'm just drying it off with a paper towel. So what I think I'm going to do to get us rolling, since Mod Podge is a wet glue and it's used a lot of times really for decoupage, but if your paper is thinner, it will curl it because it is a wet glue. So I think what I'm going to do to help control my Mod Podge, what I want to do, let's see if this will work. It may or may not. I'm going to take this bit of glue stick and I'm going to put just a little bit down, and I'm going to line up my papers because I want to make these stick together a little bit but not lose where it's going to go together. So I'm going to get a good amount of Mod Podge on my brush, and it's been a while since I've used some Mod Podge. Some people say Mod Podge, and I think sometimes I'm guilty of that, but it's Mod, M-O-D, Mod Podge. And I'm gonna get a good layer down here on the bottom, and I was thinking that I did not want to cover the texture of this cardstock, but then I thought, well, maybe I will, because it is a decoupage. It will dry clear, and it can go on the top or the bottom. I mean, you know, on underneath your project and on the top of it. It'll kind of give it a sealing coat. All right, so I was originally going to go ahead and seal the top of this, but I think I am not going to, because I definitely like the feel of this paper. And now that I've got it stuck on the scrap piece of paper, which I'm just laying down to keep my glue, this is just a book page that I ripped out. I think I'm going to take my, see, I'm getting a little curling here from the wetness of that glue. So I'm going to take my bone folder here and just smooth that out. All right, and that's going to take a little bit of time to dry, but I think we can proceed with our card. And you see I'm getting a little bit of a bubble right there in the middle. Let's see if I can get that out. Yeah, that looks better, I think. I really love the vivid colors of this paper. All right, so I've got the Mod Podge. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside and let it dry for a moment. And I also want to, I'm gonna cut off maybe about 1/4 of an inch of this paper. Let's see here. Probably should just go ahead and line it up on the trimmer. I'm not a big one. Well, I don't know. I like specific measurements. Yeah, I think about 1/4 of an inch will probably be where we need to go. So where did I set the trimmer? Famous in my own mind for setting it behind me somewhere and then not being able to find it. All right, so if I cut off 1/4 of an inch, so originally this piece of paper measured 4 1/4. So if I take that down to 4 inches, 4 inches is right there. I think we're gonna like that. All right, let's go ahead, trim that cardstock down. All right, let's see how we're looking now. Oh yes, okay, I like that. And I think I loaned my sister my corner chomper, so I've got this older Creative Memories punch, which does not punch very well, but I think I'm going to round all of these corners. I hope I like this, but it's looking a little too square for me. Oh my goodness. This is years old and I've never gotten rid of it, hung on to it for emergencies like this where I don't have my other one back yet. I need to tell my sister, hey, bring that back. Oh my goodness, this is hard to punch. There we go. Whoo, one more. You guys remember Creative Memories, the scrapbooking company from back in the day? I went to, I don't know, back in the day there was always a party for something. I actually started crafting when I went to a Stampin' Up! Party back in 2001. Woo, this is a tough thing. I love that big chomper that I have. It's so easy to use. Okay, last one. Alrighty, whew. Okay, yes, I am liking that. We still have a top folding card, and I could use the Mod Podge to seal this, but seal the card front, I guess, down to the card base, but I think that's going to be a little messier, so I'm probably going to switch over to maybe the Art Glitter Glue. I do have, and actually I will say I like how the Mod Podge has sealed this. It still needs to dry. It's still a little damp under there. So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to put a sentiment on here, but I was sitting here looking at my desk and I have this trim, decorative trim, natural soft gold of Hobby Lobby, $4.99, so I'm sure I got this for half price, and that was sitting here and I kind of really liked the look of this. It might be too wide, but let's see. And generally I have some tape sitting around here. Oh yeah, I really like the look of this. I'm wondering, do I want to cut it? Is it going to be too bulky if I fold it? No, I think that's going to be fine. Alright, generally I like to use some tape. I'm a little more organized. Well, I won't say I'm organized, but generally I have my tape sitting next to me, and I know I used it, so you know what, I've got some washi tape sitting here. Maybe that'll work. Let's give that a whirl. And then we'll just add some glue to it as well. So right there is where I'm liking this trim. And I think maybe just to give it a little bit of extra hold, you know what, I've got some Fabrifix here. I think I'm going to do that. Because this trim it's pretty, you know, it's got a lot of texture to it, and it's got the bead on it too. Whatever those little metal bits are. Okay. Good, so that's how we're looking so far. I think that is just gorgeous on there. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and put some of this glue under here as well, just so it doesn't buckle. Alright, good. I still am concerned a little bit about that being damp and still buckling there in the center, but I must have got an extra dose of glue there. You know what, it could be reacting with where I put that glue stick too. That's a thought. Interesting to note. Okay, so we've got that down, and I'm going to do the glitter last because our project, we've got our blue, we've done the Mod Podge, so I'm going to go ahead and glue. Oh, I guess I really ultimately did not end up needing that washi tape. Okay, since we used our Fabrifix and that worked fine, and this is an acetone base. Oh no, I got some Fabrifix right here on my project. If I had my little eraser, that might take that off easier, but all right, keep on trucking. We're having a few issues tonight.
I was already having difficulty figuring out how I was putting together this card. Yeah, but it's coming together. Anything can be fixed. All right, so let's get a little extra on there. All right, let's put our card front down. I always like my edges to definitely be sealed in. All right. I think that was probably a little excessive on the glue, but I always want to make sure that I'm centered up. Sometimes I feel like I'm always a little bit crooked when it comes to my cards. It's been a while, I feel like, since I've made like a standard card. I've made a few chunkier cards recently, which are really fun. Some larger 6x6 cards. Okay. We are coming together. That's really nice. And then I was going to put a sentiment on it, but since I had, I don't know, I just didn't want to take away from the loveliness. And when I saw this trim, I thought this was nice. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the glitter. So let me grab another piece of scrap paper. And I have a lot of some old book pages. I'm using some of these as scrap. So I think for our glue, or for our glitter, I'm going to go ahead and use the Art Glitter Glue. And I want to try and not get too much. Let me start it over here. I actually don't know if that's the look I was going for. I think I have too much glue down there, but and really I think that's the only place I want to put the glitter. Alright, so we're just going to dump it. It's been a long time since I've used glitter. I tend to use the sparkle pens so much more, and I have, last time I was reorganizing my room, I discovered how much glitter I have. Really don't need any more. One of the things I'm trying not to purchase anymore. Did not want to blow that towards. And I feel like I might need some glitter, maybe in the center of our flowers. It looks a little bit one note where it is just on the flowers. So I'm going to kind of make a center as well. So let's come back to our glue. And this is an older Stampin' Up! Dazzling Diamonds. I don't know if they still carry this, but it's a really, when this dries, it really is a nice iridescent. It's got a nice shininess to it. Chunky glues are nice too, which, you know what, chunky glue might have been good on the inside of our centers here. I wonder, let me see if I have a chunky glue or glitter. I do, so I don't know if this is going to make a huge difference. That might have been nice to begin with, but I found this Heidi Swap Marquee Love, which is a chunkier glitter. Maybe that'll work nicely in the center. So this is a nice shiny glitter. So pretty. All right, let's set this aside. Let's put the lid on this fine glitter. All right, let's dump this off and see what we've got. I think that's going to look nice when it dries. All right, cool. We finished off our flowers nicely. All right, I'm going to put this glitter back into this jar, and then we're going to finish off our card with the finishing touch, which for me lately, blow off some of that excess. Okay, which for me lately, my finishing touches, I love playing with some buttons. And this one here was just laying here from a project I did the other day. And let's see, I had some gold trim right here. Again, this is a product for Stampin' Up! From a long time ago, which I love, and I tend to use it very sparingly. It's a wonderful cord, and I was so sad when they took it out of their catalog many years ago. I think it is just wonderful. It's very fine. It's very pliable. It's one of the most perfect trims, I think. I have it in silver, too. All right, so got our trim. I'm going to tie a knot in the back, and then we're going to glue this down, and I think call our card finished. I wonder, do we want to do anything on the inside of it? Maybe. All right, so we're going to put that right about there, and I want these little parts of my all right, let's put that down right about there. I'm going to go with the Fabrifix again. I'm going to put a nice blob of glue right there. I love this glue. To me, it's almost like a hot glue gun in a bottle. I have a hot glue gun. I don't use it often, but I have used it a little more as of late. Okay. Gonna hold that down for just a moment. Maybe I should have pulled out the hot glue gun for this part. All right, I'm gonna trim these tails just a little bit. All right. Oh, okay, so that's how we're looking. Really, really nice. I don't miss the sentiment. You'll have to tell me if you do or not. So we've got the blue, we've got the glitter, and the Mod Podge. I'm like, what was the other thing? I was wondering about the inside. So I have a few offcuts here. I could trim these down a little bit. I don't want to mess up our glue while it's drying. Just wondering if I wanted to put a piece of this down inside, but then again, it doesn't leave me a lot of room for writing. I'm not going to do the inside, I think, for now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop our card right there. So I hope my lighting has been okay for this project. So that, again, is our card. I think everybody that is doing this dare with Ninju will be posting on Instagram tomorrow, but I thought I'd go ahead and do I was going to say a quick card process, but I don't know how quick that was. Anyways, I hope you're crafting along, maybe find some inspiration, decide to work on 3 things that you would like to work with. Check out the dare. Anyways, give us a thumbs up. Would love to have a new subscriber. And until next time.